Hi everyone, welcome back to Lewis on Film, the official episode 2, with me Lewis, and this is the first time we're going to give you an actual film review. So, the film we're going to start off with is number 3 on my top 10 of 2020, which you will have seen last time. It is Promising Young Woman, which gets released in the UK next month. So what's the story here? So the film follows Cassie, played by Carey Mulligan, and she is a medical school dropout. On the surface, her life is going nowhere. She lives at home, she's 30, she's in a dead-end job, even though she's very intelligent because she went to medical school. But under the surface, she leads an interesting double life, as what she does is she pretends to be drunk and goes into clubs and waits for men preying on vulnerable young women to pick her up and possibly take her home, wherein she reveals that she isn't drunk and what they're doing isn't okay. In itself, that's a fantastic concept, and there's room to do a lot of things with it. But what Cassie's motivations is what makes the film really exceptional. The good here is plentiful. There's lots of good in this, but I need to start with Carey Mulligan, who is the leader of the film, and she is exceptional. She really, really does carry this all the way, and you never question her motivation. You never need to an extent, because first of all, even I think even if they don't want to admit it, a lot of men will go, actually, yeah, she's probably right here. A lot of women will certainly be rooting for her, I'm confident, but yes, she's likable for what she's doing. Her motivations are her own, and we find out about it sort of gradually throughout the film, and ultimately in the end we know the full story. But her motivation isn't ever really needed to explore in that much detail, because as an audience we love it, and B, she carries it. She every time she kind of feels sorry for the guys who she's done this to, she kind of shows a little bit of remorse, and then there's times where she's just sternly, fully in the knowledge that she is doing the right thing in her mind, and Mulligan just embodies that. She makes it work, and if you can take something like this and make it work with your lead actor, you've done it. You've achieved the goal. But the film excels anyway in other areas. Certainly, the music is one thing I'd love to talk about, because there's one absolutely amazing bit I realised that I think it's actually the score. So you know the score. Anytime sort of a music is playing over a scene, that's the score. There's a score wherein it's a violin version of Britney Spears' Toxic. And you notice it, and it's like, oh my god, that's brilliant. It's very clever. It's very interesting and very clever. The soundtrack itself is excellent. The fact that they talk about pop songs and make a big deal of them to add a bit of engagement to it, but also it lets you in again to Carey Mulligan's character, into Cassie, because she loves these songs, and it's like, well, yeah, she's willing to have fun, she's willing to enjoy herself. It's not all about what if you want to say it's evil, maybe you're allowed to, but is she a necessary evil, or is the real evil somewhere else? But the fact that we get that side of her in her liking of a soundtrack, and yes, Paris Hilton's Stars Are Blind is one of them, and it's about time it's admitted that that's a good pop song, because it always has been. So moving on, so the script then. Now, Emeraldfennel is Emeraldfennel is the lady who's behind the camera. She wrote and directed this, and it has to be said, with the concept alone of doing this and running with this as a dark comedy idea is wonderful. But equally, she uses it as a shock tactic. It's not necessarily that that her idea doesn't work, because it really does, but it's the idea that it shouldn't work. People constantly question what Cassie's doing, and they give a fair argument, but because again Cassie is so determined to achieve this goal, we're with her completely. and that's okay. But it deserves full credit to Emeraldfennel for coming up with that and for writing it and for going at it with such belief and such strict conviction that that works. So the bad, there isn't a lot. There really isn't. Now, arguably, I think a lot of people might lean towards saying that there's some questionable tactics taken in by Cassie during the film. Now, first of all, this is fiction, people. It's about a real issue, but it's fiction. You know, there's lots of things that you could say are wrong about it, but they get the point across. You know, this film is a blunt instrument that beats the message into you whether you want to hear it or not. And in that regard, there isn't a bad thing to say about it. I love the score, I love the performances, I love the script, I love how thrilling it was, how captivating it is. You know, once the film starts and really gets going, you don't want it to let up. And maybe the only criticism there is that the ending has to give up at some point. You know, there has to be a surrender point. And what the surrender point is may leave a few people a bit bitter, but not me. I thought it was exactly what needed to happen, and it was well done. So in conclusion then, I absolutely love this film. It's one that I am definitely going to watch again over the years. It's one that I am going to recommend consistently, and as well as that, it's one that I think is going to be remembered not just by people such as myself who enjoy talking about certain films. This is one that I think a lot of audiences are going to realise needs to be heard. You know, it's a message that needs to be beaten into people, and that film does that. It doesn't let up, and it beats the message into you. It's a sobering watch. The hashtag #MeToo movement has been going on for a while now, and this is one that is a part of that. You know, similar to The Assistant, similar to an extent as Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. That culture needs to change, and it needs to be acknowledged, and film is a powerful way to do it, and this film is one of the most powerful that you'll find. It lingers with you for long after the film's over, and it's just one of them that'll catch you off guard even if you think you get it. So there you go, nothing complicated here. Go check it out. It's out next month in the UK. I think you'll really enjoy it. I absolutely loved it, and I think the Oscars are going to be all over this one come April. They get announced in March, of course, the nominees. I won't be surprised to find this amongst them. The trailer is in the comment section below. Thank you for those who've subscribed already. Again, if you want me to do a certain review, if you want me to check out a certain film, if you want to tell me what you liked about the film, tell me, by all means, tell me if you disagree with me. I'd love to know. So yeah, I'll see you next time, where we're going to talk about the kid detective in episode 3. See you then.